James is going to talk about this book.
Talked about it yesterday, but we ran out of battery.
We ran out of
so it goes. And I think because I finished it up, I'll leave that extra little talk till some other time, when I'm short of page or something. So this is about almost 400 pages with very good material. So doesn't look that thick, but there's it's got a great cover, and both covers are pretty good. It's got
the full color pictures are really easy to identify the plants with.
Yeah, it's amazing. Now I'm looking through the flora of Waterton Park. There's some really good line drawings. The line drawings there are much better than the line drawings in here, and the ones in here aren't that bad. They're a little small, and by comparison with this is a local guy, Joe Coit. I hope he's still alive, but he probably isn't. I think it's probably somewhere around 32. They said he's got his BA in 54, the year I was born. So, he'd have to be pretty old to be.
Yeah, but these guys did a good job too.
They did a great job.
The descriptions are great. Like, I really enjoyed it when James would read to me little excerpts from.
Yeah, it's
plants,
almost like a little bit of gossip about the plants and stuff like that, but also some useful stuff as
information,
well.
Like what various native groups used to use whatever for.
So
buffalo berry.
For twine,
which I don't know how they
stuff.
used buffalo berry for soap, because honestly I don't think you could just take a handful of buffalo berry and chuck it in the
I think they boiled it down or something like that.
Washing machine.
I'd read it now, but I don't have my reading glasses with me, so that's unfortunate, because it would have been good if I'd given a demonstration.
But apparently it tastes good. It tastes relatively good. Not so sweet, but because they used it as a dessert, sort of like ice cream. They whipped it up.
Yeah, it's a buffalo. Yeah. Anyway, they've got a couple of maps. One showing the area covered by what they consider the Rocky Mountains. You'll have to consider it kind of like the extended Rocky Mountains. So they've got the Rocky Mountains in the United States, Rocky Mountains in Canada. Then they've got the Brooks in from the Brooks to the Selwyn Range, from Alaska to through the Yukon, basically. So it's pretty well extended coverage from the Brooks Range up in Alaska and northeastern Alaska down to Albuquerque. Are you going? You're going to be talking about breaking that. That's set largely in Albuquerque. Been thinking about that. We're not finished. And then it shows the various mountain parks provincial and national parks, national Canadian and American parks, that you can access this stuff in, which is useful. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So they're very nice. They're all numbered and things like that. Got the authors and contributors here, and none of them look like axe murderers. They look like fine, upstanding individuals. There's 6 of them. So when Joe Coit pulls that, I hope I'm
the Washington one?
Yeah,
it's Yob.
Exactly. That would be the proper way. I think it's a Dutch kind of name. When he does it by himself, it's very impressive. But I'll be reviewing that.
That's a great life's work, that Waterton.
The pictures are impressive. It says on the back cover 150 plates on it, but that's useless. But he fits it on average maybe 5 plants per plate, and that takes a little bit of arranging, and stuff like that. And he had a sure hand with that one. He must have been using, the cartoon sort of thing. In other words, sketched with pencil and then went over it with ink. What do you think? Pencil and sort of stuff.
Oh, I'm so tired.
I
didn't think it's nearly as many Saskatoons.
No, we were out longer, I think.
Yeah, but we had to walk further.
We had to walk further. That was one of the.
It was a good walk.
It was. So
while we're picking Saskatoons, we're also covering La Salle Ultra.
Actually, La Salle Ultra, from what I saw on the internet yesterday, doesn't go that far.
Well, I'm seeing white-painted rocks.
So possibly it did at one point in time. But maybe they didn't. The one map I was looking at was semi-official. It was the one that had the different colored things. Do you remember looking at that one the week before? And that wasn't efficient.
I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, it didn't seem to go that far south. It seemed to only go as far south as Sugar Bowl.
Really?
Anyway, I won't say definitively.
Maybe they're extending it.
Maybe they are. Wouldn't that be cool?
That would be cool.
That would be a better way. Because usually these things get bigger and hopefully better. Anyway, this is arranged by, trees, shrubs, wildflowers. So, you're more likely to narrow things down. There's the section of wildflowers is big, but it's subdivided into the aster family, potato family, pea family, and all that sort of stuff. So they've got a very good way of classifying it, the Linnaean system and stuff like that. It seems to follow that. The one problem I have is, they'll have a picture here of the main things they're covering section.
Oh yes, it did confuse
And then
you.
there'd be a smaller.
Yeah.
It confused me. I think you figured it out pretty well, but I haven't looked at a lot of these things, whereas you would have seen more.
Well, I know some of the plants a little bit, right?
That would have been it, I think. So
that
you're looking at
helps
it, and that. I think we're looking
Or
at
if it
brown-eyed
says,
Susan.
if it says a Latin name, like say a genus or something, then
Yeah.
I'm looking at that and going, that doesn't look right. That doesn't look like that.
See, like some of that stuff, I would be less lost in because I know the Latin. I know a lot of the things they say it's Latin. And it's really Greek word.
Really?
Oh, a lot of names. If it's got a PH in it, it's not Latin
Interesting.
originally. No, the Latins took it over. It's got a Y in it. It's not Latin originally. If it's got those are CH in it, it's not Latin originally. It's Greek. And you'd say it,
So James has decided he's having a baked potato with moly sauce today.
Oh man,
And so-
this baked
and
potato with
he-
moly.
he
I
loves
keep
it.
encouraging
And
Pauline
he's
to start a
decided-
chuck wagon where that is
Yes.
one of the featured
He
dishes.
wants me to have a little restaurant where I serve all-American sort of poutine with
There
French
we
fries
are,
with
yeah.
moly sauce.
Healthy, because potatoes I think are relatively healthy. It all depends on what you put on them, right? And I think the moly's pretty healthy. You've got it's not just moly because you put a nut kind of butter.
Well, moly does have a nut butter in it.
Okay.
Just what I
I'm
do.
showing my ignorance, but what the heck, you got
No. It's fine.
it's innocent.
And you can put whatever nut butter you want. Honestly, some people will cheap out and use peanut butter, but it doesn't taste good.
And it's
but-
unhealthy, right? Peanut butter has those aflatoxins in it.
So James likes almond butter, but I'm sure you'd like lots of different butters.
Well, I'm sure I would, and I'm telling you, just with the moly, I'd like it.
We
on
could
the-
get
on
you
the,
different kinds of butters.
yeah.
Do you want to try hazelnut with the moly?
Well, at one of these times, I just want to try it with moly by itself. I bet you I'd like it plenty.
Really?
I think.
Well, it's
So.
supposed to have nuts in it. See,
Oh, there
what
we
I
go.
do is I
So what do
make
you
the
make your
mold-
moly out of then? The thing that's separate from
Well,
the
it's,
darker part.
it's regular, the chocolate. And
Oh, there we go. See, that's one of the reasons why I like it. Like I'm a chocoholic.
It's not
It's-
sweet.
Well, see, the potatoes provide that. Potatoes
And-
ultimately are fairly sweet.
Peppers and spices and stuff. You can look up a recipe.
There
There's
we-
lots of recipes.
I think it's the chocolate
And,
I'm tasting. Chocolate and peanut butter. Yeah, I used to be a sucker for chocolate
Yeah, so
bars that
it's
mix
chocolate
those two
and
up.
almond. But you
Peanut
can
butter
use
cups, for
cashews
example.
is good. Cashew butter.
Yep.
But anyway, yeah, it's all I do is when I make a moly sauce, I make a whole lot and I jar it like I make it without the nut butter, without the nuts, and then I put nut batter afterwards when I'm serving it, so I can a whole bunch at once.
Now I'm
And
going to
it's easy.
take it up here, but it's going to spill on me.
So yeah,
Wow, that's strong. Woo-hoo.
It's getting really frustrating listening to the CBC. I mean, it's been frustrating through this whole COVID thing.
Right,
but-
from January the 1st. For me, I don't think I visited on you until a few weeks later. But anyway, go on.
Well, I was thinking about what you were saying about the straw man and all that sort of thing, and how ridiculous it was that they were talking about the anti-vaxxers and the anti-mask movement, they're the same people or whatever, and acting like anti-vaxxers are somehow influential on the general population of people, which they're not.
You are absolutely right.
And
that
they're
bothered me,
trying to
but I
blame-
couldn't single it out.
Yeah,
There's
they're trying
huge
to
bunches
blame
of people that
not
aren't
wearing masks on anti-vaxxers, and it's like, whoa, nobody, they are not a group that people want to emulate. This is anyway. So to blame them is ridiculous, and they were also blaming them for promoting no faith in the government or authorities or something like that.
Well,
Was
what
that?
they're saying is spreading lies.
Yeah.
They didn't quite use that term. It was something a little more official. He's a bureaucrat.
Or encouraging people not to trust the government or something like that. And it's like, nobody listens to the anti-vaxxers. I mean, in some cases, maybe they should. But I don't think they're totally wrong about a lot of things. And I like to listen